Okay, you guys, it's me. I had to cut the first 10 minutes of the video off. So when you're watching this, if you get slightly confused about what we are talking about, it's because you're only getting half of the first little introduction. My name is Shamika. Welcome to my channel. Today we are talking about lies. Lies, lies, lies. Lying yourself into the acceptance of others and how that is something we need to shy away from. And I will let you get into the video because it is long, but you couldn't hear anything because she was literally right next to my phone. I was trying to get her to come up on the couch with me, and she was just chewing and scratching and biting and this and that, and that's all you could hear. So that is why we're starting 5-10 minutes in, I think. But anyways, enjoy. Don't forget to comment, share, subscribe, all those things, just in case that part is not on there. And I will see you guys in a second. Thank you. Okay, there we go. Sometimes I'll put her in the laundry room and it's closed off. It's not small by any means, but she doesn't like it because she cannot see what's going on. That pressure that this world, social media, others, our family members, etc., people that we surround ourselves with, that pressure can kind of lead people to think that they need to be a certain way, think that they need to be further along that they are, think that they need to like certain things to be a part of that group. And a lot of times, if you're fighting so hard to get into a certain area of life and you're finding that you have to lie to gain the approval of others or to be on the good side of others, a lot of times that group that you're admiring or striving towards is not for you. They have a different mindset. They're not probably as healthy mentally as you think they are because they're doing the same things that you're doing. I put at times this can help us get past or through situations. It can help us fit in. It can help us go with the flow. Again, it's that fake it till you make it type of mindset and mentality, which isn't necessarily bad. You want to believe that you can be what you're striving towards, but it's when one lie becomes another, becomes 100, and then before you know it, you don't even recognize yourself anymore, okay? I put, when we do this constantly, slowly we start to lose ourselves. We get to the point we don't know who we are, what we like, we can't make choices anymore. We kind of fade into the background because we've used these lies to get us forward, or we've used these lies for likes, or we've used these lies to get in the door. And then once we're in the door, we can't keep up this false narrative that we've created for ourselves, and then we fizzle out, and all it does is it hurts you. That's all that does. Okay, back to my notes. Like I said, I wrote so many things it's hard for me to jump back and forth. Okay, I put, we fall out of touch with who we are, then the issues start. Like I said, we feel like we can't or we don't fit in, we get lost, and we fade into the background because we've become so accustomed to having someone else move first, and then we mimic that. When we don't have anybody to mimic anymore, we don't know who we are. That's why it's so important to truly take a step back, and instead of letting all of this outside get in your head, really make choices for yourself. Really go after things in life that spark interest. Really do the things that make you happy. Really kind of get your strength together, your bravery together, or whatever it is that you need to work up, and just be yourself. Okay, it seems so hard to be yourself. It really does, because we see all these fake ass people, excuse my language, fake people getting so far in life, and we're like, oh, I can do that. They're lying. I know who they truly are. They just put on a show for the world. But a lot of times you'll realize that the people that do this they're very sad. That's the only thing they know. That's the only thing they're ever going to that's how they're going to be for their lives. And you almost start to pity people in a way, because you realize just how messed up their mindset is, and how they're never truly going to have good connections. They're never going to have a relationship that just fulfills their needs. They're never going to have those connections or those friendships that most of us admire. You know, that ride or die type mentality. They're never going to get that. So they have to lie about everything and everyone and every situation to get the approval that they're seeking. We need to cut out that mindset of I'm seeking approval and just do what we do, man. We do. I promise you, there's more people. If you are yourself, if you are real, if you base your activity in life off of your interests and off the things that make you happy. I don't care if you like to make horse sculptures or whatever. This is just the first thing that popped into my mind. And you paint them, and everybody in your family thinks it's so weird. I guarantee you there's people out there that like to do the same thing as you. You just have to stop working and living for the approval of others and just be you. And then you're going to be happier. You won't feel so alone. Let me see where I'm at. Oh, on my note, I said we have a tendency to conform to society's example. And this is something that's going on a lot because we have social media. We have TikTok, we have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have all of those socials. We've got Twitch, we've got just, endless platforms where we basically can be nosy and kind of see how other people are living, what they're doing. And a lot of the examples out there are horrible. I'm just gonna say it. A lot of the ways that these young ladies and these young men, even older ladies and older men, just the people in this world, a lot of the ways that they're portraying themselves, it's not a good example. And I feel so bad for people that are struggling to try to figure out who they are, and they're using, social media as an example of the type of person that they should be, because they're being led down such a horrible path. It's just a constant, I need to do this, I need to be better, I have to be this way, I have to do that, I have to be like this in order to get this much attention. Living your life to be as good as the person with the most subscribers isn't necessarily something that you should do. Now, I understand if you're trying to go after money, if you're trying to do this, and you want to kind of mimic the behavior of someone successful, but you have to be really careful, because success doesn't always mean smart, hardworking. It doesn't always mean healthy. They could get on their little phone, act however they want to, and then be completely different when they get off camera. And all we see is the good. All we see is the perfect. All we see is the everything is neat and tidy and in order and it's going this way. And then we see our lives, our messy little chaotic lives, and we're like, well, what's going on with me? Why can't I keep up on this? Why can't I do this every day? Why don't I have the energy to be like this person? Well, it's because they're fake. It's fake. It's all fake. It's a big old front. It's people trying to make money off of your suffering. It really is. They hit a certain topic or they touch on a certain thing, and you happen to relate to it. Now you think you have to replicate the program that they're in, or the whatever it may be, whatever product that they're selling, or whatever lifestyle that they're currently living. You think that you need to be that in order to be as successful as them. And it's not the truth. A lot of the times, the people that we're taking advice from are just as, how do I want to put it? They're just as emotional. They're just as chaotic. They have the same stressors. They live the same lives that we do. They just have a better, they're better at putting on that fakeness because they've lived it for longer. I'm getting sidetracked. Okay. Put it together. Okay. In a previous video, we discussed boundaries and why they're so important for just a healthy mindset in general. And when you are living your life through lies, you probably don't have very many boundaries, personal boundaries, emotional boundaries. You probably don't have very many boundaries set up. And the reason I say this is because you're looking for someone else to kind of give you a boundary to create. You're trying to mimic, like I said, their behavior because you think that your life or your whatever is not working out because you're not doing X, Y, Z. And that's not the case. You are looking up to someone that is, you're looking up to somebody that is just lying to you, okay? You are never going to be able to attain perfection. There's always going to be something. There's always going to be something that isn't quite right or that you need to work on or that isn't going in your favor because that's just life. Excuse me, I got to get a drink. Hold on. And chapstick, if you can hear me. My lips are so dry. It was super warm and then it snowed like 3 inches all of a sudden. And I turned the heat up too high and it got to that point where everything was like hot. You know how sometimes you wake up and you're just like, oh my gosh, like it's too hot in here and you can't breathe and your throat's dry and your nose is all stuffed up and everything's chapped. That was how hot it was in here earlier and I'm still suffering. Okay. I don't even know where I was at. I was talking about, boundaries and how boundaries are so important for a healthy life. But aside from that, I wanted to talk about before you start trying to put those boundaries in place or while you're trying to put those boundaries in place, you have to learn how to be honest. And that's the whole point of this video, is being honest with yourself, being honest with others, just being honest in life. We need more honesty. When currently in this day and age, we live in a society where lies have become the new honesty, okay? And it's really, really hard to figure out where the issue is or what you need to do when everything is just lies, okay? What's an example I can use? Okay, say for instance, you're in a situation and there's a person you admire, all right? They don't even know who you are. You admire their style, you admire their confidence, you admire how they move, how they effortlessly, talk to people, or they do something that you have trouble doing, all right? And you find yourself wanting to gravitate towards them because you admire them, all right? Now say you meet them, and it goes something like, hi, how are you? My name's this. Oh, I'm this person. I do this and that. I like this and that. And you're just kind of shooting the shit back and forth, basically, all right? And then they, out of the blue, are like, oh, I really like the Orange Pumpkin Band. Have you ever heard of them? And you say yes, but you have no idea who they are. That right there is what I'm talking about, those little tiny lies. Now, why on earth are you saying that you know who the Orange Pumpkins are? It's gonna make me laugh. The only reason I said that is because our pumpkin is right there and that's what I thought of. But why would you say you know who this band is? Why would you agree to it if you know deep down in your heart you have no idea? You're gonna have to go home, you're gonna have to look it up, or they may ask you questions about what your favorite song is and you're just gonna be like flabbergasted because you have no idea because you just lied. We do those things because we try to fit in for whatever reason. If you would have just said, no, I don't know who they are, you probably would have had a better conversation because now the person that actually knows them and likes them will explain to you and show you new music. They'll show you a different artist. They'll show you something, but instead you chose to lie because you think that's what you need to do to be in the good graces or to be someone that this person likes, okay? We do this all through life. The majority of people do. It's that acting like you like a certain thing, acting like you go to a certain place, acting like you're someone that you're not, and that becoming your personality, your identity. Not identity in the sense of like your fingerprints and like your ethnicity and that kind of thing, but the self-identity or personality that we create, through our likes and our dislikes and our interests, etc. We do this. And I don't know why. It must just be a human thing to want to just feel connected. But you don't get true connection through lies. You get true connection through honesty. And I want to talk about why honesty is a big deal. Okay, in my notes, I put, question, why is honesty a big deal? And then I put, okay, it provides clarity, trust, you become less dependent on others. It heals your conscience, because a lot of times when we lie all the time and that's become a part of our identity or a part of our personality, subconscious, it's like the things that you don't know are happening but your body and your mind are kind of working through, subconsciously you are fighting yourself because you know this is a lie and you kind of have that that guilt or that anxiety or that, oh my gosh, what if they find out that I'm not this kind of person? When you start to become honest with yourself, it heals you consciously. You are able to express yourself. It just makes things a little bit easier, okay? And then my second question was, why is honesty so hard? And I put, well, honesty is hard because it makes you vulnerable. And it does. When you're honest, and I think this is why people don't like being honest. I think it's so much easier for somebody to stamp a lie on something and to kind of move past the situation than to be truly honest about how they're feeling, what they're doing, why they are the way they are. People do not like to feel judgment. People don't like to feel like they're different. They do not like to feel like they're that, awkward person or alone, basically. Sometimes honesty, it makes you vulnerable. It kind of makes you feel alone, but that's just in the beginning. It's because you haven't found your crowd. You haven't found where you excel. You haven't found your people, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Okay? And that's what was my second point. Sometimes you look bad or awkward. The third was you can't rely on excuses anymore. Now, lying is almost like a bad boundary. If you think of boundaries as things that are good, that are healthy, lying is like a boundary that's bad. It's like you get a little bit of pressure and then boom, somehow, some way you have a boundary set up where you lie because you don't want to feel that pressure, you don't want to feel that judgment. You make an excuse, and liars are really good at making excuses. They have an excuse for everything. Why they do this, why they act the way they do, why they treat people a certain way. It's just excuses, and lies and excuses. They're really close together. But when you start to be honest with yourself, you can't rely, or you shouldn't rely on those excuses anymore because you're never truly going to be able to heal. And then I put, it's become normal to put on a front. And this goes back to what I was saying. We live in a society, in a day and age, where lying has replaced honesty. It used to be looked up on. Being honest, being courageous, being trusting, being truly empathetic, being real with people, regardless of the judgment, it used to be looked up on. It was something that people were driven to try to attain, but now it's the complete opposite. It's been flipped upside down. It's become, how do I want to put it? Like the polar opposite, basically. The lies have become the new thing to attain. I'm going world. I'm going to do this. I'm going to fool everybody. It's like everybody is running around trying to be that image that they try to portray on their socials. You know what I'm saying? The perfect setting, or the perfect picture, or the perfect sound, or the perfect this. That's become our society. And then when you are like a real human and your life isn't perfect all the time, it kind of is weird, if that makes sense, because you're surrounded by all these people where lies have become the new thing. Basically, you know, it's normal for people to put on a front, and everybody does it everywhere. I don't care if you just go somewhere and you pay attention, or you people watch. That's what I call it anyways. You're just chilling, you're just kind of watching people and how they act and how they interact. You will slowly begin to realize that we are walking around in a world full of fake people, and you cannot keep up that way of living forever. You just can't do it. I don't care. You can convince yourself with all the reasons in the world. Oh, this person's done it, or I know this person, they've lied their entire lives. Whatever, I don't care. They're probably miserable inside. You cannot keep the front up forever, because either one or two things are going to happen, maybe more. Number one, you're going to drive yourself crazy because you can't keep up with that perfection pace. Or number two, you're going to be really, really lonely, because the people in your life are going to start to see that you're just lying and having excuses for everything, and they're going to step back from you because they realize that that's unhealthy and that you're kind of in this delusion, basically. Okay, let's move on. Why is honesty important? All right. Now, being honest with yourself and others allows you to work through pretty much everything. You know, honesty goes a very long way. Now, I will say that you have to kind of be careful at first, especially if you're sensitive, especially if you are used to relying on the world's opinion of you. You want to be selective, I guess would be a better word, of how you start being honest in your life. Maybe start just by being honest with yourself. You know, maybe being honest with God if you have a religion. Kind of be selective with your honesty. Make sure that you're comfortable being honest before you try to start just hitting everybody with like honesty bombs all over the place. And don't, just because you are deciding to be honest with yourself, that doesn't mean everybody else is going to be honest. You'll find probably that it's really frustrating and it's kind of sad, but you'll come to the realization that, like I said, everybody's walking around with this fake persona, you know, and nobody is honest anymore. And when you start to become honest with yourself, it's like a reality check. It's an eye opener. You know, it's good that you're doing it, but you're almost going to feel alone in a sense in the beginning, all right? But it allows you to work through some of those things that maybe you've been ignoring, or maybe that, you know, say for instance, you struggle with smoking, you know. Why do you smoke? Oh, I don't know why I smoke. I just smoke because, you know, I'm addicted to it, or whatever your thing is, whatever your reasoning behind it is. Well, you gotta be honest with yourself. You have to understand that you smoke because there's some addictive chemicals in this stuff, and once you start, it's challenging to stop. But once you accept the fact that, you know, this thing has control over you, and you can be honest about it, and you can start realizing little things, little triggers that maybe make you want to smoke. I don't know why I'm using smoking, it's just what popped into my head. Once you're honest with yourself, you can start to heal and kind of work through things a little bit better. You start putting those boundaries in place. You start getting away from certain kinds of people. You start getting away from certain kinds of environments. Like if you're a social smoker, well, maybe you don't want to be hanging out in the smoking section at the bar, you know, just saying, until you're fully ready to feel that pressure, fully ready to, you know, kind of knock out those triggers. Maybe stay away for a little while. And you can kind of work through it, but you're not going to be able to work through anything until you're honest with yourself, okay? Now, I put, being honest allows for closer connections. This is why it's important. When you're honest, you find those people that are honest too. It's really hard being in a world when you're trying to be honest and everyone you're surrounded by is lying. You know, the more honest you are, it's kind of contagious. When you start to be more honest with yourself, you start to attract people that are being honest with themselves, and you get a better connection because you guys are basically telling the truth. You know, you're in the habit of being real. You understand that things are hard sometimes. You understand that things are really awesome sometimes, but you don't try to sugarcoat the bad and disguise it and excuse it off into something else. You see it, you accept it, and then you deal with it. And it seems hard, but once you can kind of get in the habit, you're going to attract things and people and environments of kind of similar thinking. All right? It allows for closer connection. And it might be like 1 versus 100. You got 100 fake people over here, but when you start to be honest, you're going to transition from those 100 people to maybe that one person. It's going to suck at first because you're going to realize, like, man, it's so much easier just to lie and be part of this world than it is to be honest and to have standards and to put boundaries in place and to be real. But you're going to realize the longer it goes on, the healthier it is for your mindset, for your body, just for your well-being in general. Another reason why honesty is important, because it naturally puts boundaries in place for you. When you start to get honest with yourself, you're honest, and you realize that XYZ, whether it's a person, place, or thing, no, I'm not going to go there anymore, or I'm not going to deal with this drama anymore, or I am not going to allow myself to be pulled down to this level. I'm not going to allow myself to be treated that way. You get honest about the people in your life, in yourself, and you naturally put those boundaries up because you're tired of feeling the way that you do. You're tired of feeling alone. You're tired of feeling like the only real thing walking around. You know, you put those boundaries up to get away from all the bull crap, okay? Another thing is, you will never be able to heal until you are honest with yourself. And that goes back to what we were just talking about a few minutes ago. When you're trying to heal your mind from whatever, heal your body, but I can kind of relate it to physical therapy, okay? Say you injured your knee and you have to do physical therapy, okay? If you don't do the physical therapy, your knee isn't going to get back to 100%, but you don't go to physical therapy, all right? You don't want to. You don't do it. And you're like, well, how come my knee isn't healing? Oh, it's because of this. Oh, it's because of the doctors. Oh, because they didn't do a good job. Oh, it's because I don't have the right medicine. And it's no. You're not honest with yourself enough to know that, yep, maybe I need to take my butt to physical therapy, even though it sucks. That's the only way that my knee is going to get back on track, and that's the only way it's going to heal. It's the same thing with our minds, with our emotions, with our body. Until you're truly honest, you can't pinpoint and navigate through all the crap to get to that healed aspect. You know, you got to stop lying to yourself. Most importantly, stop lying to yourself, or you're never going to be able to heal. You have to, and when I say be honest, I'm not talking about running around and telling all your secrets to the world. That is not what I'm talking about, okay? Because we live in a society where honesty isn't valued as highly as it used to be. Even though it's sad to say, a lot of times when you start to be honest, you will realize that it pushes people away. And you could be as nice and as like tiptoe around it as easily as you can, but when you start to hold yourself to a higher standard and you start to be honest and you want to heal, if the people around you are not ready, they're going to be turned off, okay? Like I said, people don't like to feel the judgment of themselves. They don't like to feel like they're not perfect. They don't like to feel like they're different or they're awkward or that they just need to work on something. I don't know where along the line in our world where we've like fallen so far off track. You know, having an issue and needing to heal doesn't mean that like there's something wrong with you. It just means that you're a real human dealing with a real problem, and you need to work through it, and there's nothing wrong with that. But for whatever reason, like I said, in today's society, honesty is looked down on. And sometimes you just need to be selective. Like I said, start with yourself, start being honest with yourself, okay? I'm gonna get back into my list and then I'll come back to it, okay? Even though it is hard in the beginning, it's easier in the long run, all right? You gotta get past all those people that are stuck in that lying mindset. You gotta get through their bull crap of why you're doing this and why you're doing that and you're trying to be better and yada yada yada. You gotta just kind of let it go in one side and go right out the other. Okay, you know you're on a path to bettering yourself, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. If they have that big of a problem with you being honest with yourself, then they probably don't need to be a part of your support system. I know it's sad, but they probably don't, because they're not on the same level as you are, and that's okay. You know, people are at different levels. Don't hate on them because they're not taking that step in their life. Just do you, and naturally those boundaries will pop up. Naturally you'll lose the dead weight of people that are surrounding you, and you might find yourself alone. But that doesn't mean you're going to be alone forever. It just means that you're working on things, and that's what was meant to happen, okay? I put focus first on being honest with yourself and God. Once you get your footing, be selective with whom you share. And I just explained to you why I use the word selective, because honesty is not appreciated like it used to be. People don't understand how to accept honesty anymore. They think when you start to be honest with yourself or be honest with them, somehow, some way, they twist it into thinking that there's something wrong with them, and they take it personal. So you have to be selective, okay? Because how did I put it on here? Okay, like I said, even if you are only talking about yourself, somehow, some way, they will or may take it personal, okay? They might take action out of worry and make things harder for you. And say, for instance, you've been one way your whole life, all right? But you've been lies. You've mimicked everybody else. You've acted like this. You've acted like that. You've just lied yourself through life. And then all of a sudden, you're like, no, I want to be a better person. I'm going to get honest with myself. I'm going to get real. I'm going to improve. I'm going to work out, yada, 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 whatever it is. Sometimes when you make a drastic change like that and people are so used to you being a certain way, they start to get worried. They think that, oh my gosh, they're listening to something they shouldn't, or they're, having a mental breakdown or whatever. Somebody has gotten in their head and now they're changing. And it's the opposite. It's like, okay, you were following along with the other people, and now you're really starting to change in a positive way, and people see that and they get worried. They don't understand why all of a sudden you're different, and it's just because you were following along like a sheep, or whatever people call it, a sheeple. They say sheeple, and I think it's so funny because it's so true. They don't get where you're at in life, and you can try to explain it to them all you want, but they're automatically going to take it negative. They're automatically going to think somebody's controlling you because they no longer have control over the things that you like, the things that you do, the things that you think, and they may make some moves that will make it harder for you to continue through your, healing journey, or whatever you want to call it, just, being a better person. I put people don't keep quiet, and this goes back to being selective about who you're honest with in the beginning, okay? Unless you are ready, and I put here on my note, my little letter D, I said, if you open up, be ready for everyone to find out, especially if you open up about a sensitive topic, because I know you guys want to think people are good and that the relationships that you have are so solid that nobody's ever going to tell your secrets or their lips are sealed, they're going to take it to their grave. But dude, 95% of the time, probably more, people lie. They even lie about that. Your secrets are not safe. Nobody knows how to keep a tiny tidbit of information to themselves anymore, all right? I don't care what it is. People blab. They talk to their friends. They talk to their family. They don't think it's a big deal because they don't think it's ever going to get back to you. And usually it does. Just be selective at first because people cannot keep things to themselves anymore. They just can't. They feel like they got to gossip about everything. They don't have anything to talk about, so they talk about you. And when it's personal, sometimes that hits really hard. And you just have to know, like I said, to yourself, be honest with yourself, be honest with God, and then when you're ready to take on all that judgment and, have things misconstrued in such a way and have people talk about you, this or that, then you can be honest with the world. But until you know that you're kind of like mentally tough enough to handle that, I wouldn't just go telling everybody everything, basically. If you open up, be ready for everyone to find out. And that's pretty much it. Once it's out, just be ready for everybody to find out because you are the only one that can keep things safe. Okay, you know who you tell, you know who you talk to. Just keep it in for a little bit, especially in the beginning. And I know secrets make you sick. That's a big thing. But in the beginning of your healing, like I said, just focus on being honest with you. All right? What do I have? Oh, that's another point. I have it bolded down here. Okay. I'm going to read the whole thing to you. It says, if you are not ready for the world to know, focus first on being honest with you and God. That is all you ever need to do. You do not owe personal information to anyone. I don't care how they guilt trip you. You don't need to tell anybody a darn thing. Don't feel the pressure. I don't care who it is coming from. If you are not ready, if it is too close to home, if you know it's going to trigger you, if you know you're going to go into certain behaviors, just keep it to yourself. Just keep it to yourself until you're ready, okay? Because I guarantee you, I'm not going to guarantee you, but a lot of times people aren't going to take it at face value. They're not going to just truly take it how you say it. They're going to read into a lot of what you're saying. And unless, like I said, you have that mental toughness to kind of back it up and back yourself up, they're going to run with that information and you're going to be in a worse off position than you were if you were to just kind of have kept it to yourself, okay? Nobody knows how to accept it anymore. They take it personal. They think something's wrong with you. And all you're trying to do is just grow and just be better. Let's see if I missed anything on this. Right, honesty so hard. No, I got this. The background, honesty is a big deal. Yep. Check your boundaries. Focus on yourself. Exactly. Okay, I think I've read through all of this. And my last thing was just don't feel pressure. And I said I was going to try to simplify it. So let's try to simplify it. After 30 minutes of rambling, I hope you understand a little bit of what I'm talking about. Why being honest with yourself is so important. We'll use a food example, okay? Say, for instance, you're dating this person, okay? Or you're best friends with this person, or you want to be best friends with this person, whatever the case may be, okay? Say they love spicy food. Like, it's all the rave. They do the chip this, and they eat the spicy that, and they go into the hottest pepper challenge that you can think of, okay? And because you admire this person so much, and that's such a big part of their life, well, you want to be that too. So what do? You lie about liking spicy food, okay? I know this is silly, but just kind of roll with me. Now, once you cross over that line and you lie, now they're going to think that you like spicy food too. And mind you, you're the kind of person where you can't even like smell hot sauce because it makes your eyes water. Like you're literally miserable, all right? But you wanted to fit in, so you told the lie. So now, what do people do? Well, they think you like spicy food. And what follows? Well, they want to take you with them. They want to go to the new restaurant. They want you to try the hottest thing they have. They buy you spicy stuff because you said you liked it. And the whole time, you're just suffering. And now you're in a position, it's been so long, you don't know what to do. It's either be honest with this person now, after you've lied and you've built up your bond over lies, and potentially throw away this friendship or this relationship or this whatever, because people are that dramatic, like it will really happen. Or you keep on with the silent suffering because you lied. Either way, you're kind of screwed. If you were to just have told them, like, yeah, no, I don't know how you do it, dude. Like, I cannot handle spice. You wouldn't be in the position that you are, okay? You wouldn't have all of this, like, people do this to themselves. Here they are, all right? Now they're going to cover themselves up with a lie. They're going to cover themselves up with more lies because they want to get attention. They do more lies because they want to be in a certain group of people. They want to have more lies because they think it's going to get them farther. And the whole time they're miserable. It's like as their lies go up, their mental health, their health in general goes down, 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 because now they gotta keep up with all these things. Oh, I like spicy food, so I gotta, show this person I like spicy food. Or, oh, I like that band, so now I gotta go home and take time out of my already busy day to research the Orange Pumpkins. Is that what we called it? I think so. Or, oh, I gotta read this book because I said I did, and I don't want them to think that I lied to them, so now I gotta hurry up and do this. All it does is it makes you miserable, okay? It makes you miserable. If you're the kind of person that just does this and you don't even know that you're doing it, you've been so used to just agreeing and going with the flow, start making a list, okay? Get a tiny little piece of paper, could be this size, write things I like, all right? And if there's things that you don't like, you can make a separate sheet for that, but just start with things you like. Once a day or once a week or whatever is the proper pace for you, every time you come across something that you like, write it down. It could be as simple as, I like green tea, or I like the scent of sandalwood if you got a new candle, or I like the flavor of whatever. I like this kind of music, okay? Every time that something encourages that positive energy, that makes you smile, that makes you feel good, that makes you motivated, that naturally gives you that, that just like good vibe, life type adrenaline. Every time you come across something like that, I don't care if it's a color, if it's a hairstyle, if it's a place, if it's a person, if it's a kind of food, every time you come across something that you truly like, write it down, all right? And soon you will have an entire list of things that you like. And it's easier to find your people, find your group, find where you fit in, find whatever it is that you're looking for. It's easier if you have something to base it off of. If you like a certain type of genre of music, okay, well, base your activities and the things that you do off of that. Go towards the scents that you like. Find the forums of the bird watchers that you like, or go into groups of people that make little horses. Like, it's so silly, but it's so simple. Once you start figuring out who you are, aside from all of that facade, that fake that we put on for people to try to get their approval for whatever reason, once you start basing your life, your activities, and things to that extent off of your likes, you're gonna be so surprised. And like I said, it takes a little while to kind of get in the habit of being honest with yourself. But you're going to be surprised by how much better you just feel. Like that 100 connection from lies, or that one connection with that person that loves birds or painting just as much as you do. This right here, this one-on-one is going to override that 100 any day of the week because it's real. Because it's a bond based off honesty. Just do it. One a day. You know, if you put one thing you like on a piece of paper every single day, by the end of the year, you have almost 400 things to go off of, okay? You've got 400 things that you can look into, that you can find little groups in your area, that you can find little restaurants, that you can find places of, that you can find activities on based off the things that you like. And then you know when you go there, everybody's gonna like that same thing, so you don't have to feel the pressure of not fitting in, because you guys are a whole bunch of, I don't know, exercise fanatics or bird fanatics or candle fanatics or whatever it is. I know it seems so hard, but it's so much better. I promise you, it's so much better if you start being honest with yourself. And yeah, it probably is gonna rub people the wrong way. People are gonna think you've changed. Don't be negative with them. Don't be mad at them because they're not taking the steps that you're currently taking. Like I said, just do you. Brush the haters off and keep going, because you're going to find people that are like you. There's too many people in this world for there not to be at least one other person that likes the same thing that you do, that thinks like you do, that you can connect with. Yeah, it's going to be hard to find, but if you can kind of narrow it down, make your list of things you like, make your list of things you don't like. The don't likes can naturally become your boundaries, because you're going to stay away from those kinds of people, those kinds of things. Your life is going to be so much better. You're going to be so much happier, and it's going to be an honest happiness. It's going to be a real feeling. It's not going to be, oh, I'm anxious because I have to be perfect around these people all the time because I built myself up off of lies and I never want them to see me slip. It's the same thing when you're in a relationship. All right, when you meet a new person, you are infatuated. You like this person. You want to be everything that this person, you want to be everything that this person wants, okay? So you keep up your little acting. I don't care if it's, you bust out your fancy shoes, or you always dress up even though you're a person that likes to chill in hoodies and sweats. Or you do this, you put on a front trying to be everything that they want and everything that they need. And as time progresses, you're not going to keep up that. You're not going to be able to keep up that pace. You're not going to be able to keep up those lies. You're not going to be able to keep up that fake self that you put off or you put out. And I think that's why people, they say, after 6 months or after this many months, oh, she just changed all of a sudden, or oh, he was totally different all of a sudden. Because we do this, we try to bend to whatever we think that person wants instead of just being real. And it backfires, because now they've built up this whole idea of the kind of person that you are, what you like, where you want to go, just the types of things that you do based off the lies that you've told them. And then when you can't keep that up anymore and you start to go back to your baseline, who you truly are, now, well, they're not attracted to you. And it's not their fault. You're going to get mad. Oh, he doesn't like me anymore. Oh, she doesn't like me anymore. Oh, they're this and they're that. And it's your fault because you lied to them. It's okay to not like everything. It's okay to not be certain things, especially in relationships. You can't, I understand, wanting to show the best side of you, but just make sure that best side of you that you're showing isn't lies, 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 fake, lies, lies. Because I guarantee you, if you pull in that kind of person based off your lies, and they really truly are this high energy, love the world, extroverted, wants to jump off the skyscraper kind of person, and you are like scared of the swing, you're not going to be able to keep that up, because they're going to live their life like they are, and you're slowly going to revert back to who you are. And there's nothing wrong with either, But what's wrong is this person that you built up that now they think you are, and then all the mess breaking apart and freaking a bomb exploding basically in your relationship because you lied. Just be who you are. If you're not supposed to be with that person because of this reason or that reason, you're just not supposed to be with them. You shouldn't have to lie to be with someone. You shouldn't have to act to be with someone. You should just be able to be real. And I think if a lot of people just cut the crap and they were who they were around their people, they would attract someone like them. They would have a healthier relationship, friendship. I was going to say familyship, but you know what I mean. They would have healthier relationships in their life, regardless of where they come from, because they're based off of real things, real honesty, real connection. Work on your list. Start making a list. It doesn't matter. You don't even have to label it if you don't. You just things I like. And you can also tell other people, you know, a lot of times people do watch. They pay attention to our actions. They pay attention to our movements and what makes us smile or what makes us sad or what gets us excited. And when you start to, you know, become confident in who you are and confident in your likes, other people are going to know how to treat you, what to do around you, what not to do around you, what to get you. They'll have a better idea of who you are because you're honest. You won't have so many awkward conversations or awkward, ooh, I don't even like this type of thing. You know, you won't have all of that awkward, lying, excuse-filled type negative energy. You're just going to have real like, oh my gosh, I didn't even have to ask and they already knew. Well, because you're being real, you know. Start making your list. Do it. Just write down the things that you like. I don't care how long it takes you. Just keep a little piece of paper with the things you like. And if you ever find yourself trying to lie your way into someone else's, how do I want to put it? If you ever find yourself in a position where you feel like you need to lie in order to be accepted by someone, something, a place, whatever it may be, that list will kind of help you. You'll go back to who you truly are and you'll realize that, nope, I don't want to even be wrapped up in this drama. I don't need to be like this person. I have 400 things that can bring me closer to somebody else, or areas that I could go into, or things that I can do, or relationships that I can build based off of honesty rather than trying to lie to fit in. Half the time these people don't even notice you anyways. They don't even care. They're so wrapped up in their fake little life that they don't even appreciate you as much as you're trying to fake yourself into their appreciation. You could do and be whatever, but you're never going to get there because their life is full of lies and their life is fake. Just be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with the people around you. If some people fall off, it's okay. If you gain some people, great, wonderful. But at the end of the day, you know that you are real and there's nothing more that you need to do. All you need to do is be yourself. That's it. Just be yourself. I keep thinking about a movie or something where they're like, just be yourself. I can't bring it to mind, but just, like I said, stop trying to lie your way into the acceptance of others. Whether it is business, family, friendship, whatever it is, you don't need to do that. There are people that will accept you in this world just for you being you. Stop fooling yourself. Stop lying to yourself. Stop faking. Stop acting. Just be you, and it will be easier for others to be themselves around you too. Okay, I'm glad she settled down. She's sleeping. I hope, as much as I said that I was trying to simplify this, I hope I did. I feel real crazy about the 30 minutes that I just rambled on about, but you know what? I know somewhere somebody's gonna pick up what they're meant to pick up from this video. I love you guys. I am trying to get my booty on track for the chapters so we can read those. Doing some stretches and exercising, so look out for those videos, and I will see you in the next one. All right, I love you. Ah. 1 hour. Oh my goodness.